Good day YouTube, my name is Dan and welcome to another episode of Cryptolite. The market is looking very green today, which is fantastic. I'm very excited to talk to you today about Wanchain, a coin that has been doing very well since it was listed on Binance 3 weeks ago. Just in the last 7 days, they've more than doubled their token price, and when the market cap was announced earlier this week, they surprised the whole crypto market by ranking in the top 40 coins right off the bat. The momentum isn't slowing down, and even though yesterday was a very green market for every coin was going up, but still Wanchain outperformed the market, being one of the biggest earners with over 30% growth in the last 24 hours. Currently, they are now sitting at number 30 on the market and still rising. So Wanchain is one of the hottest, if not the hottest coin on the market at the moment. And many people are still wondering, should they get in? Is it too late to get into Wanchain? And what is Wanchain really all about? To learn more about Wanchain, keep watching this video. Wanchain's slogan is rebuilding finance with private cross-chain smart contracts. This will make sense to some people, but most lay investors will read this for the first time and understand enough to know that they are a blockchain project that's involved in finance, but they will still struggle to understand what this project is really all about. At its very core, Wanchain is a protocol, meaning it's a blockchain platform on which you can build other blockchain or decentralized apps. However, where other platforms are generic, meaning you can build whatever apps you want on them, Wanchain is a platform which specializes in connecting blockchain services and users together, particularly but not exclusively financial features. And every app that is built on their platform can take advantage of this cross-chain specific feature. Consider this analogy. Imagine that every orange dot is a financial blockchain project, example Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Stellar, etc. Currently, each blockchain project functions within their own blockchain and have their own payment system. So if I go to a shop that allows me to pay in Bitcoin, I can't go up to the shopkeeper and say I want to pay in Ripple. The two currencies work on different systems and are currently not interchangeable. Now, Wanchain helps to build the infrastructure for these blockchains to interact with each other. This is the cross-chain feature of Wanchain. But these blockchains do not have the necessary means to connect with each other, so all points of communications or transactions have to go through Wanchain. And this is a very smart move by them, because by doing so, they make themselves the indispensable middleman in the blockchain financial economy. Now, just with this feature alone, Wanchain would already be a very valuable project. But it goes a couple of steps further to offer further communications for individual users like you and me to cross-communicate with different blockchains. So not just blockchains across blockchains, but even users like you and me talking to blockchains. So for example, if I as a user wanted to sell, let's say, OMG tokens to buy NEO tokens. At the moment, I would have to go through an exchange to buy Ether or Bitcoin before converting it to NEO. So that's two transactions with double the transaction fee. Wanchain will make it possible to directly convert my OMG tokens to NEO tokens because it has a direct cross-chain feature. Now, this is just an analogy. OMG and NEO are not their partners yet, and this feature is not available, but I just wanted to give you an analogy to help you to understand what they hope to achieve. Furthermore, it's not just communications on the blockchain itself. Wanchain also hopes to connect financial blockchain systems with financial circular companies that run financial world systems, example, the Swift account. So if you watch our Cardano video, you would understand that interoperability is one of the biggest hurdles in today's blockchain world, and this is what is preventing mass adoption of blockchain technology, because blockchain projects have great technology, but they are not compatible with worldly systems, computing systems. And this is one of Wanchain's biggest selling points, then, that they will help to cross that bridge or form that bridge between blockchain projects and circular world projects. The way that Wanchain provides the communication links is by providing services. Now think of it this way. If I only speak English and I want to talk to someone who only speaks French, I will need a translator service. If I have Aussie dollars that I want to convert to USD, I will need a currency exchange service. So different financial blockchains aim to do different things, and different users have different needs. To provide that communication links for all the different requirements, Wanchain offers a host of service. They liken themselves to a bank. So where you might go to a bank and request different financial services, example, you could go to a bank and request for a loan, or ask for exchanging of currencies, or ask for a wire transfer to transfer your money from one country to another country. Wanchain wants to be the institution that offers these financial services for digital currencies on the blockchain world. Except it is not centralized like the bank, it is a decentralized project. So basically, as a platform, the entire Wanchain platform is designed to serve the cross communication of digital currency. But they have also started providing some core services to serve that purpose. Example, loan services, exchange services, or transfer services. But as a platform, they also allow other users to come on board later to design their own dApps or services to be used. So there is a lot of room for this platform to grow, because you could literally have an infinite number of different financial services being formed on this platform. It is still very early days. Okay, now that we know what the project is trying to achieve, let's move on to the technical side to understand how they are going to achieve it. Different blockchain projects are designed differently, and each of them have their strengths and their weaknesses. Wanchain's architecture is actually a hybrid of Ethereum and Monero's architecture. The actual platform is designed as a hard fork of the Ethereum project. This means not only does it use smart contracts and is easy to build dApps on, any ERC20 project, which means any project that is currently on the Ethereum network, should they choose to migrate over to Wanchain, they can do so without changing any of their code. In other words, it won't cost them any trouble at all to move over to Wanchain. And this is massive. Currently, there are about 2,000 blockchain projects in the world. Most of the top platforms, example Neo, have about 10 or less projects or actual functioning projects on their platform. So it's still very early days, right? Even the biggest players, biggest platforms on the market have 10 or less projects on their platform. The biggest platform that outperforms everyone else at the moment is Ethereum, who hosts 800 projects on their platform. So Ethereum is way ahead of the pack. And the reason why Ethereum has so many projects is because it had the early movers advantage. It was the very first platform to use and design and introduce smart contracts. So because of that, in the last couple of years, almost every major project built itself on Ethereum. But that is changing now, because as Ethereum is now growing older, they are also struggling with issues like scalability, interoperability, and sustainability. A lot of the newer platforms are now functioning much better. So for example, Ethereum's transaction speed is 16 transactions per second, but the average new platform out there is sitting at 1,000 to 2,500 transactions per second, so vastly different. So a lot of new projects that are being built now are choosing to build on the newer platforms like Neo. However, some of the existing platforms on the Ethereum network would like to move away from Ethereum, but the problem is there's no alternative. The entire structure was built on Ethereum, and it will be way too troublesome for them to move. But now, with Wanchain, all of those 800 projects on the Ethereum network have an option to migrate over to a newer platform without any hassle, because it's basically a hard fork of Ethereum. So this is, on one hand, a little bit sneaky, because it's kind of like poaching business from Ethereum, but you could also look at it as it's giving the early blockchain projects who are now struggling on the Ethereum network an option to choose for an upgrade should they wish. And this is potentially a very big thing for Wanchain, because you could see a huge influx of projects moving across Ethereum over to Wanchain. The next thing in the architecture is the transactions, and they use ring signatures for privacy. Ring signatures is a blockchain technology made famous by Monero, the biggest privacy coin on the market at the moment. And what it is whenever you do a transaction, your IP address goes into a big pool of other IP addresses who are doing other transactions. So basically, if someone wanted to trace your IP address, they will hit the big pool, and there will be thousands and thousands of IP addresses, and there will be no way to trace the the transaction back to you. That's why it's called a privacy coin. And so Wanchain adopts this technology, but in addition to just having ring signatures, they also do new signatures, meaning for every transaction you do, they will give you a new IP address, making transactions on Wanchain doubly secure. Now, if you were to look in their white paper, to understand more about the tech and how transactions are done, you would see many or various complicated diagrams outlining the different technical aspects of different transactions. But in essence, okay, the very simplistic structure of any transaction on Wanchain is you have three parties. You have the sender, you have the middleman, which is Wanchain, and you have the receiver. The sender will send the asset to be transferred to Wanchain, who then creates what is known as a locked account, which is pretty much like an escrow, except it's cheaper and more flexible. So basically, the asset is locked in. And then they confirm with the receiver the contract and then release the locked assets to them. So you can go to the white paper to check out more of the technical details of how they do the transaction for each asset. But the important thing to point out here is that they don't just do a transfer of currency or money, they also do a transfer of assets. Let me try and give you an analogy to fully appreciate how powerful this is. Now, as an example, and this is again an example, okay, this Power Ledger and Dent are not their partners, but I'm just giving you an example to help you to appreciate this service of transferring assets, not just money or currency. Now, Power Ledger is a blockchain project that monetizes electricity, meaning you can sell your excess electricity, let's say from your solar panels, for crypto. Dent is another blockchain project, but it monetizes mobile data, which means you can buy or sell your excess mobile data for crypto. So now imagine if I was to travel overseas, okay? Imagine if I want to directly convert my excess electricity to buy mobile data. So if I'm traveling overseas, I'm not using my home electricity every day, but yet every day my solar panels are collecting electricity from my home. So what I could do is I could sell that extra energy every day from my phone app, and on that app, with the Wanchain that I collect, I can convert it directly into mobile data. So every day, wherever I'm traveling across the world, I don't need to spend money to buy mobile data because the excess energy that I'm collecting from my home solar panels can be directly converted into mobile data. So I'm literally using electricity to buy mobile data. This is what it is, the exchange of assets. And this is what Wanchain does. So as you can see, Wanchain is more than just offering currency services, it's offering asset services, which is huge because no one else does that at the moment. And on top of that, not only do they do the transitions for you, they will do it in a private manner as well as secure manner and store it securely for you. This is why even blockchain projects that are not financial in nature may want to build on the Wanchain platform for these cross-chain benefits. Finally, their consensus algorithm. Currently, like Ethereum, Wanchain is actually using proof of work, but the plan in the longer term is to swap over to proof of stake when Ethereum swaps over to proof of stake as well. In their proof of stake, they will have three different nodes. There will be the voucher nodes, the storeman nodes, and the validator nodes. Voucher nodes are used to provide proof of transaction between the original account and the locked account. Vouchers will have to pay a security deposit to stake. The higher the deposit, the greater the chance that the proof will be adopted. So basically, the more you stake, the greater the chance of success. Also, if the proof is found to be false, the security deposit will be deducted. They didn't explain it in their white paper, but from my understanding, the reason they do this is to prevent hacking or bots from manipulating the system. That's why other proof of stake systems charge a deposit as well. They do this to prevent bots from coming in and providing false proof of transaction to maliciously harass or hack the system. But by charging a deposit, basically if the bot was to come and try and do 1 million transactions, they would have to pay the deposits for 1 million transactions, which would be too costly for the hacking. Now, the second node, the storeman node, is responsible for computing the signature shares according to its own part of the key and merging the signature parts into a complete signature on the locked account. If you don't understand that, just think of them like a lawyer who facilitates the signing of an agreement. They're really there to facilitate the signing or the finalization of the agreement. And finally, the validator informs the storeman of operational actions related to the lock account and completes the record of transactions on the Wanchain. So this is the final important step of recording any transaction that is done on the actual blockchain ledger. Now, only people with high enough stakes can be validators and participate in the validation process. In other words, these are the master nodes of the consensus algorithm. The rest of us who hold some Wanchain, we can't be validators nodes if we don't have enough, but we can be general nodes. As general nodes, we cannot participate directly in the verification, but we can entrust our stake to trusted verification nodes. And then when they do the staking and they get the reward, they will then distribute accordingly to those who have contributed to them. So think of this like a staking pool, basically. However, you need to be very careful who you entrust your stake to, because as mentioned above, there is a penalty if they do bad verifications. So if they do a bad verification, they lose the deposit. In other words, they lose your stake. So you got to be very selective here in terms of which pool or which master node or which validator node you give your stake to. Okay, so we're finally done with the tech. Let's take a look at their team. And this is their team. Actually, it's a massive team. Okay, it's one of the biggest team I've seen, and it's also a very balanced team. If you go through their resume, you will see that there are many specialists in blockchain, computer science, cryptography, different important areas of the project. There are also people with very successful careers, including lots of startup successes and lots of international big companies like IBM experience. Now, there are too many individuals to go through, but I will mention some of the top names. Jack Lu is the founder. He's also the founder of Fatcom, who is another top 40 crypto, and he's also the creator of Wanglu Tech. So he's definitely not a stranger to blockchain, and he has already had experience in making one of the top few projects in the blockchain world. Dustin Bainton is a veteran in the blockchain. He founded Bitcoin College, Satoshi Talent, and the Stokesons Venture Capital. And he also co-founded Tendermint, which is very significant. The third person I want to mention is Ying Zhang. Ying Zhang is a senior engineer from Huawei, which is I think China's biggest telecom company. And he also served as the CAO and CTO of several companies. He is also a senior developer of Ethereum with a deep understanding and experience with blockchain and consensus algorithm. And there are many, many more impressive resumes on their team, but generally, I would say this is a very, very impressive team. They also have a big team of advisors. There's the Secretary General of Dhaka, there's the founder of Iceberg, etc. To be honest, I actually didn't recognize the advisors or many of their associations. I actually recognize the names on the team's resume more than the advisor's resume. But that may just be me. But nonetheless, it seems that these people are also very successful in their various fields and definitely holding very high ranks in the companies that they are in. Now, they don't have an actual list of partners on the website, but they will in the new website. So apparently they are designing a new website at the moment. Current partners I'm aware of include Icon, Aeon, Kyber Network, and Austin Blockchain Collective. Now, I'm a big fan of Icon. I think in terms of cross-chain blockchain projects, Icon is the biggest and the leader at the moment. So Icon, I know, is a very legit company in this field, and they know what they're doing. So it's great to see them partner with Wanchain. In fact, Icon, Wanchain, and Ion are part of what is known as the Interoperability Alliance, IOA. Now, whilst I'm sure there will be future blockchain projects that will attempt to come into this cross-link space, for any new project coming to this space, it's going to be very hard to master out any one of these projects, much more an alliance of all three of them. So I think this is a very powerful alliance with first movers advantage that guarantees a good chance of industry penetration as well as longevity. According to their Reddit, they have 6 ICOs already on their platform. So 3 out of the 6 have been announced. The first is Allspark, the second is GameBank, and the third is U-Tour Chain. And the next 3 projects will be announced in April, which is this month. So that's good to know that as a platform, they've already got 6 interest, expression of interest to be launched on their platform. Because the value of a platform is really found in how much it's used. Okay, if a platform doesn't have any dApps being built on it, no matter how good your tech is, the platform's price is never going to rise because it's not being used. But the more the platform has, even if the platform is struggling in terms of its tech like Ethereum, as long as you got a lot of numbers, your token price can still be top of the market. So it's good to see that in very, very early days, they're only in version 1.0, but already they've got quite a good expression of interest to use their platform. This is their roadmap. Their roadmap is a very broad roadmap, ranging from starting from middle of 2016 and ending in 2019, and there's only 8 steps, so it's literally half a year updates. So it's very broad stroke. It's not very detailed. I'm hoping that with the new website, we will see a more detailed roadmap. Most blockchain projects provide a little bit more detail in their roadmap. The next event on the roadmap that's happening will be in June or by June of this year, and that is to the Wanchain 2.0 version, which will include an integration with Ethereum and a multi-coin wallet. So currently, the Wanchain 1.0 is really the whole mainnet functioning on the Wanchain coin. At the end of this year, by the end of this year, we can expect Wanchain 3.0, which will include Bitcoin integration. And by the end of 2019, we expect Wanchain 4.0 with private chain integration. So this is very interesting. Is this integration with private coins and privacy coins? And if so, which ones? So on the whole, do we like this project? Yes, we do, right? We think this is a very innovative project, still in a very early stage with lots of room to grow, and already they have strong partnerships to ensure market penetration and longevity. From a token investor point of view, there is a lot of potential use for the token in the way the entire project revolves around one chain and the one token being the middleman of every single communication. Okay, so this will mean that they are used both as the medium of transaction as well as for the validation of transaction in the upcoming proof of stake. So a lot of use, and it means that the currency is expected to go up. There's also a lot of hype and awareness of this project already, as you can see from the price action. So we can expect decent attention moving forward, which is very important in the current market, because the current crypto market, even though we would like to think that it's a nice mature market that is driven by the actual tech or value of the project, the truth is a lot of times the prices rise and fall based on hype and FOMO and how aware the community is of the project. And Wanchain currently is one of the hot favorites and has a lot of awareness, which is great. The other thing I like about Wanchain is that they already have a working product. Okay, they already launched their mainnet. They already got a wallet out, so they have a working product. We know their tech can work. But what I particularly like as well is that the main features of the project, which is interoperability, cross-chain features, are actually still to be released. Okay, so the first integration of Ethereum is only coming by the middle of this year, by June. So we've got a lot to look forward to. If this is their price when they have only launched the initial product without any interoperability features functional yet, imagine once those cross-chain interoperability features with Ethereum and Bitcoin are added on this year, the price can only go up from there because it's just going to be such big news and such advancement in their tech. Now, their initial ICO price was around 30 cents to 40 cents, and now they are sitting at $6.82. So that's a massive over 20x gains. Now, just 1 week ago, they were sitting at $3.20, and everyone thought that was already huge. And now, in less than a week, they have doubled that, and they are still rising even as we record this video. So, is it too late to buy in given the humongous price rise already? No. Speaking for myself and my own thought process, if I was a hodler and I plan to hold this coin for 2 years or more, then I would say this is a great price to buy in, because in the long term, their market cap now is 723 million, but I expect this to be a multi-billion dollars in the long term. So in the long term, 2 years, 3 years, I would expect a 5 to 10x gains even from this price point easily. But if I wanted to find a 50x coin in the next 2 years, then this may not be the coin because its market cap is already very big. I feel it will grow 50x eventually, many years from now, but maybe not in the next couple of years. I mean, if you think about it, it's already about 20x from its original ICO price. To go another 50x from here means that you are expecting 1,000x price from its ICO price, okay, or 100,000% rise in 2 years. That's unprecedented. That's crazy, okay, and that would take a lot of faith to believe that the coin could go up that high. But a 5 to 10x in the next 2 to 3 years, definitely possible. Lastly, if I was short trading, okay, I don't know if I would buy in right now, okay, because it has really a very good run spanning 7 days, and that's quite long for any coin to have a good run. Okay, will it run out of steam soon? Okay, the best place to tell that is actually in the trading volume. Now, the price is dipping slightly, even though the trading volume has been holding, okay, and what this means is that there's probably starting to have, the number of people selling the coin starting to even out or meet the people who are buying the coin. So it's starting to lose a little bit of steam, maybe, potentially, all right? But ultimately, whether the price continues to rise or whether the price falls is most likely going to depend on the overall market, as we see, right? When Bitcoin rises, all the altcoins rises, and when Bitcoin falls, every altcoin falls. So ultimately, rather than doing a TA on this coin itself, I think, do a TA on the actual market, and if the market goes up, this coin is likely to go up, and vice versa. Personally, I don't feel comfortable buying right now at the peak of a mini bull run, which is what I think Wanchain has just had. That being said, I think this is a great hodl. So if I bought in at this price and the market crash in the next few weeks or next few days, I probably wouldn't stress, and I'll just wait for it to bounce back up, which eventually I'm sure I will. In other words, what I'm saying is if I can afford to hodl, and that means I don't need to cash out my money quickly, if I can afford to hodl, I don't think I will lose money entering at this price point at all. So those are just my thoughts, and as always, I'm not a professional and this is not financial advice. I'm simply a market enthusiast, and these are my own thoughts and opinions that I'm sharing aloud with you. Please always do your own research and make your own decisions. So that's it, guys. Those are my thoughts on Wanchain. If you found this video nice or helpful, do give us a like and subscribe to help us to grow our channel. Also leave us a comment to let us know what you think of Wanchain. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and do think of joining our Telegram chat group where we have awesome conversations and coin updates that are too small as an update to make a whole video on, but yet still really important to know. The big difference about our Telegram chat, which I'm enjoying, is that instead of hearing just from me, you get to hear opinions from the whole community, and I can tell you already that we have some very solid individuals in our group that are definitely worth listening to. Alright guys, enjoy the start of your weekends, and we will definitely catch you sometime this weekend to talk about another very hot coin on the market. But for now, take care and goodbye.